Hi, I'm Paul Brodie. We're in my shop again, working on the gravel bike. This is going to be the last bit of the fabrication. After this is the painting and then assembly. So one thing we're going to do today is to mount the caliper on the back of the frame. Since you were gone, I worked on the frame. I nickel silvered the top of the seat stays. I TIG weld on the dropouts. I reamed the seat tube. I put in the bridge tube here. So that's what's happened since you've been gone. I've been a little bit busy in my shop. So now we're gonna put the mount on here. Mitch can show you the photo of the last frame I made for myself, this area here. So this is a template for what I need to make, because this is going to mount. This is not exactly what fits on here. It's going to be very, very close. I can buy a mount, and this is what you can buy. This is one of them, and you see what happens here. These are the mounts for the caliper. There's no way I can modify this to make it work like that. It's ridiculous. So yeah, that's my last frame. It was built November 1st, 2018. So I have a plate here, and I'm going to show you how I cut this out, a drill, a template. I use this as a template because this is the perfect spacing. I clamp it on with my vice grips. And then while I still have the two flats here, I use the hole saw in the mill, and I make a nice arc there, inch hole saw, because it's inch dropout. So I want to show you this because when I was teaching Frame Building 101, all the students had to do this if they built a bike that had a caliper on the back. And here's some of the patterns which they made over the years. And I had a student say, I want to have a mountain top on mine, mountain peaks. And I thought, that's weird. That doesn't make sense. And then after they made it, I thought, that's cool. So, you know, the students would learn something in class, and I learned as well. It wasn't a one-way thing. It was both ways. So that's what they made. I like both of them, actually. Okay, I'm going to pack this up, and then we're going to make this piece. Thanks for tuning in. I have cardboard. I'm going to trace this, and then I'm going to leave extra when I cut it out. And we're going to have the brake on the frame. This is the fixture that I made years ago. It's just a homemade one, but it works well. I'll show you how I set that up. This is the axle. Those are the two mounts. This is an ISO mount, it's called. Aside from ISO, there is a flat mount and there is a post mount. But this is ISO, I-S-O. It's usually spelled in capital letters. I'm gonna mark the holes. And then I have a hole punch, and I do these two holes. These are the mounting holes. I will leave a little extra, just a little bit. And on the bottom, I can leave a little bit more extra. I thought this one was a little chunky, so I might make it a little bit slimmer. That was my thought. Okay, so I'll leave this longer. Here's the fixture, here's the template. So at this point, I bolt it on. I line up the holes, because there's going to be a little bit of slop there. I put washers on there, because that's a little larger surface to hold the card. And we'll spin these down. I'm going to put this on the frame, and then that's when I can scribe this arc of the dropout and this arc of the seat stay. So I'm going to need a space in here like that, because the mount, there it is, there's the mount. The mount is going to go like this. This is a post mount. This is the caliper. That goes like that. So you can see that, see, that's how much space I need there. That's one of the considerations of where you put the fixture and where the mount goes. So that's the minimum I need. So if I go about there, there's room for the nickel silver to flow up a little bit. Yeah, so that's about, that line's about right. So we'll put this on and see how it looks. That looks good, okay. And can you see what else is happening here? Well, actually, it's going to be pretty well in the middle, but coming back here, my seat stay is rounding off, so probably this won't be perfectly flat. It'll be filed a little bit so that it contours to the stay, because the stay is at an angle. Can you see how the stay is at an angle as well? You got that much angle, maybe micrometer 7 degrees. That's a guess. Okay, now it's time to make this piece. I've got a nice flat surface there, so I might as well use that. So that's why I punched those 2 holes, because now I can outline it. I can't imagine life without red Sharpies. What we're going to do first is to drill those 2 holes. I don't even have to know the spacing. I just know that this is the right spacing. This is probably laser cut or something. It's nice. So what I'm doing is I line up this with the red felt pen holes, and that's close enough. There we go. Let's go to the drill press. I won't make the holes full size because I want to see what the actual size of the outside is first. I have my Tom Ritchie belt sander. I got this in 1984 from Tom. There's a story. Okay, let's see what happens here. That does a pretty nice job. So I'll flip it around. I'm switching from the 3/4 inch belt sander to the 1/4 inch belt sander. I'm just going to chamfer. That's what I'm doing. Okay, we're going to drill those holes a little bit bigger and chamfer them. Okay, so that's a little bigger. And I'll go one more size. A 1/64 of an inch larger. I'm not doing metric today here. I know there were some comments when I was doing the drawing and I was switching back and forth freely between metric and imperial, and I'm sure that had a few people scratching their heads, but I was fine with it. I want you to know that. Okay. That's what it looks like. So I've got the holes as big as I want. There's a little bit of room here for the nickel silver because it's going to creep around this corner. That's the dropout. Let's go do a fit. Can you see how that's hitting the stay? It's not allowing this to go down. So a little filing is in order, right there. You can see it's got a rock to it. Can you see that? So that shows you the high point. So the high point is going to be right down in there. It's the same radius. Can you see from the marks? Basically the same radius. So. That goes in nicely, and that goes in pretty well too. Oh, look at that. Okay, so can you see what's happening? I got more of a gap in the front and it's touching on the back. So I need to file. This just a little bit. I am happy with that. This is not easy to do, to start a center drill on the top of a heat-treated, micro-polished 4130 tapered tube. There we go. That worked okay. So one more tack. You always have to tack in 3 spots, because then it forms a kind of a triangle and it probably won't move. Okay, tacks in 3 spots. That's what I want. I like Hope stuff. It's pretty nice. Everything is machined out of solid, even the brake levers. So I took an 1/8 inch, no, not 1/8 inch, a 7/8 inch bar, and we can make this, oh. So if I put the brake on, it'll center itself, and then we lock it. And then we see if the wheel spins. This is a big step. I'd say that's good. Pretty strong brake. These are the new ones. I don't know if I like the shape as much as the older ones, but got a different piston, and they've refined everything, and it's more efficient, and maybe that's all true. Okay, what we're going to do now is to put the reinforcing tube here. So I'll take off the caliper, I'll get the tubing. It's pre-bent. I don't have to bend it, but you know how I bend it now. I'll take off these bolts. Why you put a tube in here is because every time you use the brake, it flexes the stay, and eventually it'll break after, I don't know how many thousand flexes. So if you put a reinforcement in there, you don't get the flex. So that's the reasoning. If you've ever wondered why they have that extra tube. I got a 180 millimeter rotor here, and can you see this is basically about the same size. So what I'm going to do is to make a mark. I'm trying to, if I get right in the middle, that's the best place. So it's going to go from here to there. Oops. So that's where I want to put the tube. So we'll take out the wheel, we'll go to the bandsaw, I'll cut off a piece. It's a hand file. What can go wrong? How's that for a file? I think the radius is probably about the same as the chainstay. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a ring around here so that I know that this is the bottom, because it would be really easy to get it mixed up, and you see it because these are two different angles. So once you start on an angle and you get it right, you don't want to get it mixed up with the other end. Okay, I'm resting it here between the lines. Can you see how it's too low? It needs to come up. So I need to file more on that side. Okay, so that looks good. Okay, let's see what happens here. It's not bad. I need to file more, but the angle, look at that, the angle's nice. Okay, so I'm going to put this in, I'm going to level this, and as long as the file stays level, I'm doing good. Okay, so now I take a bunch off to get it to be short enough, because I got the angles right. Okay, that'll work. I will nickel silver that in. I'll take the wheel off. I tack it on the bottom so that it doesn't lift up. sort of like a bridge tube. I got the cone really close. There we go. Why don't I tack this one down, because I'm right down here. Oh yeah. There we go. Watching the nickel silver. Can you see it start to melt? It just started to melt right there. And we flow it in a little bit. So got the torch back a little bit. 1/2 inch, 3/4, 5/8. I want a little bit more. There we go. Come on. Just a little more. Just a little more. I got it a little too hot and it's sucking the nickel silver inside. So I'm working with that. There we go. And that's it. So now I flip it over and I do this now, and then that. So you can watch it flow, hopefully. Yeah, it's melting. See, I got the cone pretty close. Okay, we're good. I got cable guides here, and I want to show you the difference. Forged, cast. So this one here, it's less expensive, but you do a lot of work on it. You got to belt sand the edges to make them all clean. This is a much nicer one. It weighs a little bit less, not that much less, but I just like this one better. It's just nicer. So I only have one of these. I'm waiting for more. They're supposed to be here any day. So I'm going to put one on. You see how the cable comes around here? I can't change this. I can angle it, but basically I can't change it much. So I think I want one here, and then I want one here. I usually like to have one right next to the tire, but it seems like this is a better solution. So that holds it like that. Can you see how this comes around and then it gets held right away? If I do one right up at the tire, it's too loose in here. Don't like all that flop. So we're going to silver solder on this one, and then when you've gone away, I'll do the other ones. I don't have a fixture here or anything like that to hold it, so I'm counting on the flux to just hold it a little bit, and then I tack one end. Once one end is tacked, then I go to the other end and I'm good. There we go, one intact. No shortage of silver solder here. Okay. I have a total of 4 books with all of the serial numbers in it, starting at 001. This is the last book, so I'm going to add in my bike. It's a gravel bike, September 12th, 2023. So now we're up to date. That's my new frame number, 4,271. I do these freehand. I scribe a line with a red felt pen, and then I try and follow the line and space them pretty evenly. I was thinking, you know, I could make up a fixture that guides it more, but this is what we did for years and years. So you have to be careful when you're punching. If you don't hang on to it, that can fly. It really can fly. So what I'm doing, I'm lining up. Yeah, Mitch can't see too well there. I'm lining up the bottom of the punch with the red felt pen. And I got a 2-pound hammer. And you need a good firm hit. There. That's okay. Always make sure it's the right way up, because if you punch it wrong way up, that's never good. And the 1, because it's a single line, you don't have to hit it as hard. Okay. Not perfect, but you see what it is. It's made by hand. Thank you very much for watching our episodes on how to build a gravel bike frame. Mitch and I appreciate it. We both like coffee. If you buy us coffees, it helps the flow of the channel. Please subscribe. We have merchandise. Thanks. We'll see you next time.